Hey there, Internet! I was recently fortunate enough to go to the American Library Association's annual conference in Chicago, and I do plan on making a video about some of the amazing sessions I went to and a lot of the topics of interest going on in library land, but I figured I'd show you the books I was lucky enough to get. Two books I received and met the authors for that are actually already out are A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab and Walk Away by Cory Doctorow. I have read this one before, but I have not read this one, and I'm very excited. And they were both such excellent people to meet. The Unlikelies promises to be a summer story of vigilante Good Samaritanism. Never heard of it, can't wait to dive in. In 27 Days by Alison Gervais is the story of a girl who learns that a classmate she wasn't particularly close to has committed suicide, and she makes a deal with death at his funeral to go back 27 days to try to stop this boy. The Dark Net by Benjamin Percy is so far outside my comfort zone from what I have heard about it. Again, met the author, he's awesome, but it seems like this is more of a horror story I don't usually get into, but it's a horror story about what if the evil things trying to take over the world had access to the internet, specifically the dark net. I'm actually really looking forward to this. How to Behave in a Crowd is the story of a young boy named Izzy, he's the youngest child of a group of child geniuses. And when their father passes away, he struggles with how to deal with that loss, especially since he's not really much of a genius like his siblings, and also because he just wasn't terribly close to his father. 2 words to describe autonomous: robots' rights. Yeah. You heard me. I'm in. Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart was something that people were really grabbing to get their hands on. It got a runaway heiress and a social chameleon, an intense friendship, a disappearance, and a murder. Maybe 2. The Thing with Feathers is a new novel that I'm so excited about because Emily Dickinson is one of my favorite poets, and this is one of my favorite poems ever, and tells the story of a girl named Emily who has been homeschooled due to severe epilepsy, and when she starts going to public school, trying to figure out who she is among these people she doesn't know, while also trying to keep her medical condition a secret because she doesn't want to be judged by it. Hannah Who Fell from the Sky sounds like a heartbreaking story about a girl who is growing up in a very sheltered small town where child marriages are not uncommon. So at 18 years old, she's told she's going to have to marry this older man in town. But her mother takes her to the side, gives her some money, tells her she is Hannah who fell from the sky, and encourages her to run. Trell is by Dick Lair, who was actually a reporter on the famous Spotlight team in Boston, exposing the Catholic Church a few years back. And he was inspired by a true story of a man who was wrongly in prison for 15 years for a murder he didn't commit. So this is not nonfiction, but this story is inspired by a story that he worked on. There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins is something I've been looking forward to for a very long time. This sounds completely the opposite of her trilogy that she's most well known for. This is a horror thriller novel, sort of an homage to the slasher flicks that she likes, and very simply, there's someone inside the house. Protected by Claire Zorn is something I had not heard of before, and this is about a girl who is grieving her older sister and yet at the same time almost relieved because this girl has been a victim of bullying her whole life. Her older sister was one of her worst tormentors, and strangely, she finds that her life gets better in some ways once her sister dies because no one wants to bully the dead girl's sister. It sounds really powerful and emotional, and I can't wait to get into it. Tom Hanks, yes, that Tom Hanks, movie star Tom Hanks, has written a collection of short stories called Uncommon Type, all inspired by and written on his collection of typewriters. I have no idea what I'm getting into, but I am excited. Maggie Stiefvater's next release, All the Crooked Saints, explores the idea of miracles. What would you do if you could grant them, and what does it take to get one? 7 Days of Us sounds like a bit of a family holiday comedy in the sense you have this group of people that they are excited to spend the holidays with each other, but what they didn't maybe anticipate was that because one of them was recently in Africa working on an epidemic, they are now all quarantined in the house for 7 days. A lot can go on here. I smell shenanigans. It Devours is a Welcome to Night Vale novel. Yes, that's right. The people who write the podcast and wrote the novel Welcome to Night Vale are continuing on in that story. So this was pitched to me not as a sequel, but as a companion to the podcast, the previous book. It takes place in the same world. I am stoked and a little bit terrified, but mostly stoked. I didn't used to be someone who reads a ton of crime novels, but I'm really interested in Kristen Ritter's Bonfire. The girl who plays Jessica Jones on Netflix has written this book, and it is about a girl who left home 10 years ago, but now a mystery and murder has brought her back, and she has to confront her own past demons as well as solve the case. The Afterlife of Holly Chase sounds hilarious. It's basically a sort of modern take on A Christmas Carol, but this girl is visited by the three ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future, but then doesn't change her ways. And then she dies. And now she's stuck being the new ghost of Christmas past. I've read a few pages. It sounds hilarious. I can't wait to jump into it, but at the same time, I'm saving this when we get closer to the holiday season, and it comes out in November, so perfect. I am a lover of short stories, and Meet Cute sounds like it's right up my alley. It just, look at it. It's just, I'm always a sucker for a good fantasy sort of space opera story, and I'm really confident that Zenith is going to hit the mark by Sasha Alsberg and Lindsay Cummings. I remember watching YouTube videos and hearing about Lindsay talk about this book. I believe they previously self-published it, and then it got picked up, and it's just beautiful, and it's taking everything in me not to jump into this right now because it doesn't come out till January, so I'm like saving it for a special occasion. As You Wish tells the story of a boy who grows up in a town where everyone gets a wish when they turn 18, and it always comes true. So he's wrestling with the idea of what to wish for because what could the consequences be? I love magical realism. This is so my jam. And finally, there is Pacifica by Kristen Simmons. And this is the tale of a group of people that have been told they have won the lottery to leave this desolate place where they're living and go out into an ocean island where they can survive and thrive and there are resources. Problem is that Maren Carey knows that there's no island. So where are these 500 people being sent? And then two more arcs that I recently got but did not get at ALA are Moxie by Jennifer Matthau, which is about a girl who discovers her mom was a zine writer in the 90s and decides to pick up that feminist torch and start one herself, and Warcross by Marie Lu, which I won in a Goodreads giveaway, and this is about video games meets real life warfare. I am really pumped for this. So thank you so much to all the generosity of these publishers. It's such a kindness for you guys to give away these books for free, and it makes such a difference, honestly, in my own collection development methods. So yeah, that's my haul. I am very anxious to be reading and to be sharing with you guys as I make my way through these many, many books. All of my usual links are down below. Comments are always welcome, and that's it for me for now. Take care. Bye. I'm currently reading If I Were You, and if you like what you've seen here today, please like and please subscribe for more.